really, there is no better way to grow your business than to do things face to face. And when you get a group of people together that are leaders, that are entrepreneurs, that support the vision of where you want to take your business or the industry trends, there's a bit of magic that happens there.
Today I have Jerelle Gordon from OP Pro Productions. She is an event creator and been in the hospitality industry for many years. I'm super excited to have her here today as my guest on Eventpreneur Podcast. She has been a great mentor and friend, and super excited to have her here. So thanks, Jerelle, for coming.
Thanks, Victor, for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Absolutely.
It's very flattering. Thank you.
You've just been an amazing friend and mentor, like I mentioned, from just me being here in Las Vegas. So I appreciate you supporting just everything I've been doing as well as vice versa. I am so excited to talk a little bit more about you and what you're doing right now. But the topic of this podcast is the power of live events for entrepreneurs and how live events can transform their business. There's so many different things that we could do at a live event. So the first question is, can you start by telling us a bit about yourself and what inspired you to get into the world of live events?
Sure. And it starts a long time ago when I was a child, actually. We're going way back. I was blessed to grow up with a core group of girlfriends, and it was in our DNA to create events for the neighborhood. And this was anything from gatherings to, I think one of the most fun that we did was a whole summer Olympics where it spanned over a mile long.
So cool.
It was so fun. We had gatherings on our neighborhood lawn. We had a pitcher of Kool-Aid. We were very sophisticated. We talked about our dreams, our aspirations, challenges in life. And so when I think about, what inspired me, it was part of who I am. As I grew, I knew that was the place I wanted to go. And so my degree with ASU West was Recreation and Tourism Management, specializing in special events.
Nice.
I started my career with the city of Peoria and did special events with them. And then I worked in the restaurant side of things. I worked on the Convention and Visitors Bureau side of things, which was amazing because it really helped me understand all types of businesses and how they are successful.
Right.
Helped me understand hotels, helped me understand the meeting side. And then I moved into the hotel side, and I worked at Venetian, where I met you,
Yes.
for 5 years, and most recently Resorts World. And now I've gone off on my own as an entrepreneur in my own business, production and event business.
It's amazing. That's so much experience you have and so many different hats that you kind of wear throughout your journey. What has been your favorite one? I guess I know events is so many different aspects of it, the vendor side, the hotel side, convention side. What has been your favorite one?
Well, that's a good question. My favorite, now all of them play a crucial role into building who I am and what makes me successful when I put on events. I think my most favorite one before and where I am now. Now, this is my most favorite.
Right.
But Resorts World really allowed me to grow and manage a lot of different sales engagement and events. It gave me some really great experience with design concepts. I had a great team, strong team that I worked with that I learned a lot from. They allowed me to do property activations and really connect with those customers where we did large events that span the entire property.
Yeah.
So I would say that's probably my favorite, other than this entrepreneurship path that I'm on now.
Which we'll go right into in a second. I know I attend IMAX every year, and I know the last IMAX you created the booth there.
I did.
I just remember you were so excited and fascinated that it was so eco-friendly and all the different parts that you played a part of creating that kind of masterpiece booth. So yeah, I feel like the creativity side really was really nice to kind of see in just the work that you're doing with your team and how creative it was. And so, yeah,
Thank
you had some really
you.
cool activations, and I thought that was a
Yeah.
pretty cool one.
Yeah, the entire booth was made out of recyclable material.
That's right. Yeah.
And then we really took a spin on some of our activations within the booth, and some of the activities played right into our story. One thing I wanted to do that I wasn't able to, and this was actually Eric's idea, so I can't take credit, but I wanted to bring solar panels, because there are solar panels that can gain power from the lighting within an environment like that, and to fuel the booth with, even if it was some of that power that came from those.
Wow.
But that didn't happen. Maybe future idea.
That's actually really innovative. Like,
Yeah.
the electricity that is on. Why not?
Exactly.
Why not just use it?
Pull from those lights, those LED
That's
lights?
amazing. We'll switch gears here on kind of setting the stage in terms of entrepreneurs. Why are live events such a powerful tool for entrepreneurs today? What do you think? Why live events should every entrepreneur do a live event?
Well, we live in a very digital world, don't we?
Yes, AI.
AI, a lot of people work from home. A
Yep.
lot of our communication happens over email. Now, thank goodness for Teams, we get to see each other face to face, still over video. But many of our business communication and professional, personal happens in a digital way.
Right.
So live events gives you that way to connect with people face to face. There is no other energy like live events. Now,
Right.
some people might say, well, I could sit face to face with one person, take them to coffee.
Right.
Wouldn't I accomplish the same thing? Absolutely, that's another level of connection and communication.
Right.
But a live event brings an ecosystem of like-minded people.
Yes.
And that produces an energy and a sharing of knowledge and trends and inspiration, and really creates this self-growth like no other way, in my opinion.
No, I totally agree. The energy is a huge part of live events, and we get
Yeah.
to connect in a more deeper level, right? Like human to human interaction is way better than on a Zoom or a Teams call.
Yeah.
And also, we get to share knowledge and really just network with a purpose, and maybe you've experienced something, or you have a knowledge of something, and then we get to share and grow together, right? It's the
So
big
true.
impact
So
that a live event has for entrepreneurs. So for those just really thinking about creating a space for like-minded people, like you just mentioned, I think it's really powerful to get everyone in a room, right? Because
I
the
agree.
power is in the room. I always say. So definitely it's a big win for, right? There's so many different things you could do to grow your business as well, and we'll touch about that in a second. So the next question is, what are examples of events you've seen that truly celebrated a brand and made it unforgettable for attendees?
Well, I'm going to go big on this question. When I think of an event that does it to an ultimate level, I think of like the Super Bowl, and I
Yes.
think of F1, and the partners and stakeholders that collaborate to make that event so impactful for that audience is pretty incredible.
100%.
I mean, you think
Citywide.
of citywide. You're talking companies that come in and bring their own brand to create this whole experience and activation around it that celebrates the event that's happening. It's on an ultimate level.
I could just imagine being on the planning team
Oh my
for those.
goodness. And so many people are on that team.
Yeah,
Because it takes so many brilliant minds coming together
And
to
skill
really
sets.
execute on that kind of level.
100%. I mean,
You
my
know?
biggest event was 4,000 people, and I could just imagine triple, quadruple that
goodness, yes.
number of attendees. And not just that, but the skill set of collaboration.
Right.
With the city, with, just everything going on, closing down the strip for F1.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's a really good example of how live event, everyone just coming to see a football game or the
Right.
F1 race, there is a purpose behind it, and they create activations where people are able to have fun and network and
It's so
get to know more.
true. And it might not just be the people that are going to the event. You have a whole fan base that can't go to the event. And you still create these experiences that allow them to be part of that event.
100%. Well, let's go into strategizing for success. So when strategizing around live events, what's the most important thing to consider to create authentic connection? So when you're thinking of putting a live event and you're doing your run of show and like we're considering, a networking mixer, or what do you think it's a really good way to create that authentic connection between attendees?
Well, there's two things I think of. One is why are you doing the event? And when I think of my why, how does it align with the audience, the attendees, and why they want to attend the event?
Right.
And really putting yourself in their shoes and diving deep into who they are. Now, as you know, we have many styles and types of people. We come from many different backgrounds, female, male, age differences, how we grow up, introverts, extroverts, a mix of both. So I think with live events, in creating a very versatile platform that allows all types of people to connect authentically within their comfort zone.
Love it. Yep.
Part of that could be the preparation too. And what I mean by that is a clear understanding of what to expect. When an attendee decides to go to a live event, time is money, right?
Correct. Yep.
There's not a lot of time in our worlds. So when they're giving their time, they want to know that they're getting the most out of their experience. So with that, I think giving them clear expectations, understanding of the agenda, possibly even doing some virtual videos, because some people may not read their emails, so video might be a better mode of communication, but creating inspiration of comfort as they come to the event. How to dress.
Yes.
That is key. Like, what's the dress code? As a woman, we're like, what are we going to wear? And we're going to text our girlfriend and say, what are you wearing?
Right.
Because we want to walk into a room feeling confident.
Absolutely.
And then it's by even looking at what event design of the design of the room.
Right.
So let's take a networking reception as an example.
Yep.
You have to design the room that really creates the experience for all styles of people too. So maybe it's some small lounge areas that allow for that conversation. Maybe it's exactly or right, or it's the high tops where people want to come and go and move fast, and meet as many people as they can. Maybe it's choosing some of those extroverts that are attending and having them be a person that helps an introvert connect.
Yep.
And it's all about connecting the dots when it comes to networking.
I love
Those are
that.
some of the
No,
ideas
yeah,
I would have.
absolutely. And I feel like it goes into the next question where, like, how do you design a unique experience that stand out from all the other events people attend? And I'll kind of give an example.
Okay.
One of my clients, right, each event is like you create it. It's a blank canvas. You could do however you feel that you want to create this community for and the experience and the feel. One of my clients are not big drinkers, so they do karaoke night instead.
Okay.
And they have coffee, tea, hors d'oeuvres, and stuff like that. And that's just totally different from what I'm used to in a networking mixer where there's alcohol, there's maybe music, there's bands. But I thought this was a very unique way to bring the community together. And I was at first really shocked on how many people love to karaoke.
Completely sober?
Yeah, completely sober, which is amazing, right? You create these experiences, these unique experiences that ultimately create these authentic connections because everyone, is there for a purpose and they kind of find their tribe, their community, that like-minded people, right? So do you, can you think of a unique design? I know the creative side of you that could stand out from at events for for attendees? Like, is there unique other ways that either activation or or just I know we touched upon it a little bit about the mixer and having different table settings, but is there any unique way? Have you seen a unique way that people bring people together?
Well, to first answer your question, when you're thinking of unique ideas, and you're right, it's a blank canvas, right? And there's a story you want to tell, and there's a theme to your event, and there's something that everyone's coming there to accomplish or take with them, right? So with that in mind, I feel like creativity is one of those areas that's not always easy for people. And a lot of times it takes getting in a room and brainstorming with multiple people,
Right.
opening your mind, getting away from the chaos of the day, and really allowing yourself to think about the journey of the event that you're putting together. So with that in mind, I went to an event recently that was really well done. And what I loved about it and the unique pieces of it was a lot of it had to do with like the pre-communication that happened and how they made it casual and fun and kind of played off of the year before, and here's what to expect, here's what to wear, look at these superstars. There was a lot of pinks. There's psychology and color.
Yeah.
Color has a psychology to it, and their color was pink. The event was LA, Miami. I
Okay.
don't know if you've been, but
No, I haven't.
you walk into first to register, branding, pink. You've got all the senses. You've got sound, you've got music playing, you've got a vibe going, and you've created this energy. And so the registration becomes kind of like this hub of, oh, this is going to be fun, you know?
It starts from the very beginning,
It starts
right?
from the very beginning when you arrive, and then there's a reception. And there was actually, for those that are more introverted, they had a meeting, a whole general session where they were kind of talking about the landscape of the event and talking about some of those key takeaways. And then when the event started, it was the arrival experience, and
Okay.
it was ceiling to floor LEDs on both sides with mirrors all around. So it made it look like it was this huge walkway. It really wasn't.
The
but
illusion.
The illusion of it was there. And everyone's taking pictures. And again, that's a way to connect and kind of this feeling as you walk in. They had a bar right in the middle, and that was coffee bar in the morning, bar in the evening.
That's awesome.
And then around it had these avenues, these streets, where you had activations and suppliers to meet with, and it was done so uniquely. There were activations throughout that circular area that allowed people to connect in a fun way.
Love it.
So that was one recently I went to that was a lot of fun.
And that's something, this is like event planning pro, I would say, where they're capturing all the senses of
Totally.
smell and visuals
Totally.
and auditory, right, with the
Yes.
sound and the experience. And so definitely having someone on your team, the right person to capture that and have that experience of creating that experience for others, I think it's huge as well. And for those that just starting out, like obviously there's, it's a buildup just like anything else as an entrepreneur.
Well, and it's so true. And so let's take something smaller scale.
Yeah.
You're going to have a board meeting with the core group of maybe it's customers or other entrepreneurs that you want to meet with. Taking that into context and personalizing it is the way to really set yourself apart
Right.
and create these unique experiences. And it could be as easy as remembering their name when they walk through the door.
Their coffee order.
Having their coffee from Starbucks or with their favorite place right at their seat when they sit down. It's all those small, thoughtful ways to let people know they're seen and they're valued.
Love it. And it goes kind of into this one. What's one skill every entrepreneur should develop to run a successful event? And so
I love this question. And I go a lot of different ways with
Okay.
this. I would say the number one skill is collaboration, because you cannot do an event by yourself.
100%.
You've got to surround yourself with a bunch of badasses, and you learn from each other. You really create the experiences together. You bring in different vendors where you need to understand how some of your decisions are impacting them.
100%.
Your venue partner, how some of those decisions impact them, how you can work so closely together so they're an extension of your team, they understand your vision, because you can't do it on your own.
I love it.
Now, 2 other things I would say to study and learn is logistics.
Yes.
Logistics are tough. You got to get what you need in the space when it's supposed to be there. And there are so many things that can throw you off, like where's the loading dock? Where do I check in? How long can I have the truck there? Is the truck going to pull right up? Is it going to have a lift gate? How long can I keep my truck there? If I can't keep it very long, where am I going to store all these materials? That's just one little
It's in the
thing.
details
Yeah.
in event coordinating.
And the last one would be budget. And this isn't just knowing the number you need to hit and putting it in a spreadsheet.
Right.
It's really dissecting what things cost. How much is the service charge going to be? When and where are you taxed? Labor is huge, and understanding the rules of union labor versus non-union labor. The rigging, is it exclusive? How does that work? When labor goes into after 10 hours, is that time and a half? When does it go into double time? When does it go into triple time? Because those things are the things that are going to surprise you.
I love it and that's sometimes what scares a lot of entrepreneurs is, what is it going to cost me?
Right.
But if you,
Right.
like you mentioned, collaboration's huge. And if you have the right people in your team, you're going to have an experienced event coordinator where they're already future pacing that, already know plan A, plan B, but also just know that those little costs come up. And if we
right.
could anticipate them and be proactive in budgeting and collaborating with the venue and the vendors and all that fun stuff, I feel like it becomes very, very minimal, but only if you have someone on the team that knows all of these things, right? So if you are
Agreed.
starting off, I do recommend having an experienced event coordinator that
Definitely.
knows all these small little things, where at the end, when you get the final bill from the venue or your vendor, it's not a big surprise, right? Especially if your ROI, you're trying to make money off of event, and there's, again, so
Right.
many different types of events. There's fulfillment events, there's sales events, whatever that may be. But ultimately, what is your why? What is your ultimate goal of a live event? And budget plays a huge part of it to make sure that your goal is met
Right.
through that way.
Financially. Absolutely.
And it's funny how you went into this one, but if an entrepreneur is hesitating because of the costs or effort, how would you explain the long-term dividends live events pay in relationships, reputation, and revenue?
Yeah, and this goes back to kind of a question earlier, and really, there is no better way to grow your business than to do things face to face. And when you get a group of people together that are leaders, that are entrepreneurs, that support the vision of where you want to take your business or the industry trends, there's a bit of magic that happens there. And so I feel like live events is it's an art, right?
Yes.
And it's where you engage all your senses. So no longer is it a website where somebody's reading about your business. They're actually feeling what your business is, if that makes sense.
Yes. And people people only buy from people they trust.
Oh, so true. And that is the quickest way to build trust.
Quickest way to build trust
Yep.
is through a live event, because
Yep.
they get to know you in a personal level, human to human,
Right.
not behind a screen. And so it kind of goes with building those relationships, your reputation, and ultimately, if you're playing the long game, the revenue, right?
Right.
There's always this customer journey map where we lead people through our low ticket offers, our high ticket offers, our experiences, our communities. There's so many different things that entrepreneurs can do. But live event is kind of one of the easiest way to have them in the room and really showcase and give value, right, to them, and for them to go ahead and take action in their own business to hopefully 2x, 3x, 10x, whatever their goal is. So
Absolutely.
that's totally aligned with live events, how live events could be so powerful in that way. So if you're again on the verge, or you're just saying like, I don't want to take that risk, everything's a risk, you have to take the risk.
True.
In a live event is really something that is becoming amazing for me as an event coordinator, doing my own live events, right? I'm able to really meet new people, new future clients of mine, and really able to collaborate with entrepreneurs on how live events can be very powerful for them. So, really think about the long term with live events, but also short term. You're giving value, you're giving impact, which is most importantly, important.
Well, and what's your ultimate goal with your business? You know, when you think about how to reinvest in your business, think about how many dollars should I be spending on business development, and how many dollars should I be spending on marketing? Because live events is really a combination of both.
Right.
You know, and for you to grow your business, you can't just keep doing things the way you're doing it and hoping for that phone call. You've got to create it.
And that's amazing that you say that, because a lot of people struggle with creating content, doing the marketing, doing cold calling, or doing whatever it needs to the sales side of your business. And what live event does, which is amazing, is does all those things in one.
It does.
For me, my event's coming up in October, and it's pushing me to create content. It's pushing me to do marketing.
Yeah.
It's pushing me to really sell the vision of how live events can transform your business. So for those that are struggling with all the other things as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, marketing, content, if you put a live event on your calendar, you're going to have to create all these things. Will ultimately result helping your business as well, because people are getting to know you. People are finding you on social media or online. So live event, if you even take anything from a live event, even just putting it on your calendar and promoting it, it's creating more kind of how would you say, like, it's creating more of a friction of your business, because we're all kind of saying, oh, I don't have time for this, I don't have time for that. But if you have something on the calendar, you're going to want people butts and seats, right, in live event. And so you're going to have to make time to create content and et cetera. So
Definitely.
I think it's very, very important for all that. And we'll go with, if you're enjoying this podcast, I want you to join the movement. I've created an Eventpreneur collective school group community where like-minded entrepreneurs, coaches, experts are wanting to start and scale their next live event. Here, there's going to be live calls, there's going to be challenges, there's going to just be an amazing community of entrepreneurs that want to become eventpreneurs. So if you're one of those that are wanting to take the next step or scale your next live event, click the link below, and I'm looking forward to seeing you and be part of the movement. We'll go with this concept of branding and community building. In what ways does a well-branded event straighten the perception of a business?
Well, I look at brand in relation to events a couple different ways. You have your company brand, which encompasses your logo, your mission, your goals for your business, right? And that's really the foundation. And then you've got your event branding. That those two go hand in hand. And so when you create your event brand that's tied into your business brand, there's a bit of storytelling and a theme that you're creating for this event. Yeah. And so through all of your means of communication, you have a cohesive look, you have a cohesive template of how to market, how to communicate. This could be anything from the way you create a digital invite to what you put on an LED screen, to a landing page, to your registration, to your follow-up, to when you arrive, maybe there's a lobby experience or arrival experience, or maybe there's an archway, that has your brand or what your message is. And so having a strong brand for your event creates the feeling of what you're doing. You've got a strong business. You're organized. you're detailed, and you're going to carry you've put a focus into this event
it
that's
becomes
going to
memorable,
It
right?
does.
With the branding, because like,
and you see it everywhere.
Yeah,
it gets in your subconscious a little
exactly.
bit, you know?
And it goes to where branding is important, especially when you have to, what do they say? You have to touch someone online 7 to 11 times in order for them to even click your profile or your whatever it is. So creating a strong branding for your event itself, it becomes memorable and just easy. So when you're promoting it again, if you do your event again, it's like, oh, it's happening again, because they recognize subconsciously the branding and what it made me feel or them feel, and it kind of transfers into the live event, right? You have to carry that feeling throughout.
It elevates the branding image too.
Yeah.
It truly does when you've thought through and it carries throughout, you know.
100%. And one of my examples is my own event. It's called Eventpreneur. So definitely a little spin-off from Entrepreneur.
Love it.
And I just added Eventpreneur. So I
love that.
Having a full room of entrepreneurs become an eventpreneurs, right? So that's the kind of tagline I'm playing around with, and it just being a brand all of itself. From this podcast is called Eventpreneur Podcast. So just extending that brand to multiple things, where I'm also now going to create a community. So it's going to be called Eventpreneur Collective, and so there's branding. You could just do so much on just not at your event, but you could expand it to other areas of podcasting, meetups, right? So communities.
You're creating loyalty too.
Loyalty, yeah.
Loyalty to the brand, because you're connecting with the people that are following you or listening to you, plus, or going to your event. The loyalty is built, the trust is built. It's all bundled up together.
Bundle up. I love it. What are some creative ways to turn an event into a true community building experience?
You know, when I think about building into a true community experience, I think you have to really think through the journey of who's attending and the different areas of where you can create community. An easy one that comes to mind, and I've seen done very well, is outside of the event itself, creating the networking hubs. Maybe it's the lobby bar, maybe it's the spa, and you do a wellness activation prior to the event or after the event. Maybe it's the gym, you know. It's kind of those, creating those moments that are authentic and people run into each other and it feels natural.
Yep.
Also, I think about like the Backstreet Boys and how everyone's wearing white. There's a whole community there, and there's a connection there. Absolutely. I think about the general sessions or the concerts I've gone to with the bracelets.
Yeah, EDM festivals.
Yeah.
People training them when they meet a new person.
Exactly. Like, that is the ultimate community building. I think EDC does it so well with the plur, with peace, love, unity, and respect. And that's a philosophy that they've carried on through all of their communication. And when I hear people say, how did you like EDC? Their answer is, everyone's so kind. And everyone's so happy to be there and welcoming. And that's based on how they created that philosophy.
Yeah, and you could transfer that over to more of a corporate setting too.
Absolutely.
Like, what is something that you can do that could be a unique thing that people come just to do at your event, right?
Right.
And it could be at the networking mixer, or it could be throughout the event itself. I just helped another event coordinator at a big event called Forward Event, one of my favorite events of every year at Resorts World. And so Neil, shout out to him. I love him. Hopefully he gets on the podcast soon. But he creates all these very unique experiences for their attendees, which as an event creator, I'm like shocked and wowed as well, where he cares and creates those experiences. One of his speakers, I don't remember his name. It starts with a C. Really bad with names. But he is a drummer. And he was kind of a keynote as well, but he incorporated his drumming and part of his storytelling.
Oh, I love that.
And then it turns out that the host, Neil, also plays the drums. And so just creating those very unique moments. And they passed out to everyone, 800 people in the crowd, branded drumsticks.
I love that.
To like
Great
create
idea.
that memorable experience. But also
Great
like
idea.
people were just talking about it so much after
And it's
that.
a connection because it's
Connection.
something everyone can talk about because they all experienced it.
Yes. So
Right.
just like create those unique experiences and people are going to want to come back. And that's definitely one of those moments where you don't forget and you're now eager next year. What is he going to do? Right. So
Right.
that's what you want to do at your live event is kind of keep people on their toes of
Yep.
having a way for them to like come back and experience it again, but differently in a good way. So that's
agree.
amazing. Well, let's talk a little bit about innovation and insights. I know we talked a little bit in the beginning about AI and how it's transforming a lot of things, but
It is.
how is AI changing the way we connect with people at events and build lasting relationships? Have you seen anything like a trend or how AI and just in general is impacting the live events?
I have, and I see it changing our event world very rapidly. So you have to keep up with it, and I do that just by asking people, like, how are you using AI? How has it worked for you?
Don't be scared of it. Incorporate
Don't be
it.
as scared of it. I think AI creates some fabulous efficiencies when it just comes to day to day. And then from an event perspective, it creates a matchmaking algorithm. So when your attendee fills out their profile or registers and they have information that you're asking them, and you're intentionally asking them these questions so you can put together people that need to learn from each other and meet each other.
Yep.
It can create an algorithm that allows them to better understand who they should be in front of.
I love that
Yeah.
because it goes through registration and getting to know your avatar and like who's attending your client. And what I've seen in the event world is you collect data on who's attending, and what you could do is tailor the live event to that person, to those
Right.
people attending, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes we forget that we start creating content and start speaking, and again, the value you're giving is amazing. But if you want to take that extra step, you can have AI help you
Definitely.
gather all the data, all the attendees that are attending, and create experiences or a section of the event where you're talking to them and like what are they doing, so then they can get more value out of your live event and the content that you're providing with them. So I think AI is transforming even on the event coordinating side, right? Before I would have to go through a food and beverage catering menu and look through all the different details and different options, and again go back to budgeting. Now I just upload the PDF catering menu from the venue on AI. Like, this is my budget, include service, tax fees.
Brilliant.
Give me the different options. I need a feed for 2
Here's my
days for
dietary
50 people.
restrictions.
It literally spits out everything that would take me about an hour or two. It spits it out in 30 seconds.
I love it.
So it's really impacting in a good way the attendee side, but also the coordinating logistics side. It's really enhancing our time to be more creative, and having kind of that like second brain, right? Like getting different ideas and concepts on how AI could think, give us a little bit more of ideas, and then we then kind of execute, right? And that's something that AI is doing for us on both sides, and I think it's amazing.
Well, and I think it's so important that you say, AI, it gives you a foundation and ideas, because AI can't do what humans can do.
Right.
So when it comes to the dietary restrictions and it comes to the trends that are happening on the food and beverage side, and there's a decision that's made that you want to stand out from a food and beverage side.
Right.
You may take what you learned, from AI dissecting all your options, but then it inspires an idea of going back to that venue and saying, hey, what about if we tweak this? Or what about if we, a lot of protein is definitely a trend right now.
Yeah.
Getting enough protein in your diet. So how can we create a dining experience that allows people to get the high level of protein? Could we include a sauce made from cottage cheese or Greek yogurt or a healthier option, anyways, so.
I love that. No, yeah, it's rapidly moving fast.
It
So I would
is.
incorporate AI in either the logistical side or the attendee experience side. And talking about the attendee journey, like as an event creators, like us, we always thinking about the attendee journey, right? The moment they walk into the event, the moment they walk out. Even I think you just mentioned previously, even your email communication. Like, what
Right.
does that look like, right? You want to keep that experience throughout the whole entire journey. So, what are some key steps in crafting an attendee journey that turns a first-time guest into lifelong brand advocates?
Yeah, I think it's really sitting down, possibly with a past attendee or someone that's going to be an attendee, and really looking at their journey from their perspective. And this could start from, are they flying in? Are they driving in? Are they local? What does that look like from the time they arrive? Do you want to incorporate some kind of satellite check-in where you have their keys ready if they're staying on property? If they're local and they're not, is there someone to greet them right when they arrive, like you did me today?
Yeah.
That was awesome. It is remembering people's names. Names are so important.
Which I need to work
Going
on.
beyond the
I gotta work
badge. Do you know a good trick for that?
What is it?
You spell out their name.
Okay.
Yeah, when you meet someone, you spell out their name, you affiliate it with something you're familiar with. That can be helpful.
Okay.
Sometimes you still forget because you got a million things going on in your mind. It happens, right? But training your staff to really try to remember names, to remember what's important to them, to follow through. We talked about diet, follow through on those dietary restrictions, customizing amenities, having a welcome. When they arrive, we talked about, having their favorite coffee, having a thought board within the middle of the space. Maybe that is an LED board where people are uploading pictures of themselves throughout the event. Maybe it's just Post-it notes where there's a gratitude board and they're saying, thank you, Victor, for including me on this podcast. It was very meaningful to me, and it's just really being compassionate and thinking about how you can make it about the attendee themselves and how you can celebrate them. You want to go through your own intentions and your strategies, and you want to make sure they're taking away something, but you also want to make sure it's very human.
100%. I love that. Some good stuff. Some good stuff. Attendee journey is so important.
It is so
and
important.
it's something that I always strive to perfect. You can't perfect it, but you get close to it. Where it's really depends on the collaboration of the vendors, the venue, and stuff like that. So we're gonna jump into kind of what you're doing now and how are you helping entrepreneurs of through the company that you're at now, and talk a little bit about the collaboration between vendors, right? Because now you're on the vendor side, I would say, in the event creation, and talk about how entrepreneurs can find and locate like these great vendors. Is it through referrals? Is it through marketing? Like finding you on Google? So talk about how entrepreneurs can find great vendors and collaborators to do a live event, and then talk a little bit about what you do now and how you provide that experience for them.
Okay. So the first question on how to find your tribe or your vendors.
Your team.
You can do your research and you can go online and you can do it that way. But what I find, and I find this is 9 times out of 10, people are doing business with people they, number one, trust, they've met at live events. They have someone they trust that's used them before. They understand what kind of past experience they have. So if it's a scenic company that we work with, It's understanding what kind of scenic elements they've done in the past. There's one amazing partner that's really focused on more of the corporate meeting type of scenario, where another one is very, very good at the festival and the concert side. So it's knowing the difference. And that doesn't
Right.
mean that they can't do both.
Yeah.
And I think it's spending time with those partners that you have. One thing that, now that I'm on this side of things and I've started to build our business, I'm taking the time to have lunch with a lot of these partners that we've been working with for the last few years, because I want to understand them and what drives them and how they're wired, because I want to be the best partner for them too. It's not just about them being a great partner for me.
It becomes less transactional as a
Totally.
vendor and as
Relationships are key.
yeah, and it's more transformational. Like you're wanting to help them also have
Exactly.
an successful event,
Mm-hmm.
and by collaborating, like you've done so many different types of events, and by just bringing
Right.
different ideas to them that they maybe didn't even think about.
Right.
And
Right.
so being a great partner, I think, is huge. That you want to look out for if you're an entrepreneur, of just who you want to be on your team, and get those people that are like asking questions and not just
Totally.
submitting an invoice.
Oh,
I think
so
that's
true.
huge.
Yeah.
When I'm looking as an event coordinator, as a partner to my clients, I if someone asks those questions, then I know their intentions, and and they want to just be collaborative and make sure that it is a successful event. So, so what are you working on now at the OP Pro Productions, and is there something that what are you trying to kind of, I guess I'll rephrase it, like what are you working on, and then what is next for the company?
So just to answer what OP Pro is,
Yep.
OP Pro Production and Events, we've been in business for a few years, and the business itself really is a production and event services company. So we do anything from full-scale productions of meetings, concerts, activations, to project management. And an example was this past weekend. We partnered with a great agency, Cartwheel and Company, and we helped them put on an activation to celebrate FX's Alien Earth that starts tonight.
Nice.
So there are pieces we do the big piece and we put all of it, it's turnkey, or we take a piece of a project and really curate what they're looking for. And this is all over the country. It's not just in Las Vegas, although a lot of business and events happen in Las
Right.
Vegas. We do it all over. To answer one of your questions before, I think is important, is how do we support entrepreneurs?
Yep.
And so many of the projects that we take on, it's about knowing the right people. We talked about collaboration, but it's about putting together a strong team. So we have companies that will come to us and say, hey, we need some project managers, we need some PAs, I need a producer, I need a technical director, and we've got a great resource of entrepreneurs that help build this collective team that comes together to make this magic happen within events.
Love it.
So as I meet new people, I met a couple this weekend, I'm understanding, like, what are their talents? Like, each person in this world has this amazing talent.
Yep.
So I want to find out what is that, and I want to use it, and
Right.
I want to know that person for that reason.
100%.
I
I love that.
Yeah.
I know you work on so many different types of events, and there's no too small or too big of a project, right?
Right.
You're there to collaborate and really just be intentional on the goal of the entrepreneur, what they want to create.
Mm-hmm.
And that's amazing that you have just a pool of resources and just people with
Mm-hmm.
amazing skill sets that can help them achieve that goal. So
Yeah.
that's so awesome.
Yeah.
This is kind of a quick tip. If anyone is listening and they're on the fence about hosting their first event, what would you say to them? Like, any tips?
Well, I answered this earlier, and my mind goes here again. So I apologize
Must
that
be
I'm
important there. I love the
reiterating
tip.
this.
Yes, no.
But it's really who you surround yourself with when you create an event, because you can't do it on your own. So it's building a strong team so you can really go after and create. This can sound corny, but I believe in the magic of events. I believe in the magic of connection, and I believe in the joy that it brings.
Awesome. And that's one of the reasons why I'm wanting to start this podcast, is to bring experts like yourself, and really having a platform where I'm able to share your very amazing experience that you have, but also bring other guests where they're able to really give value on what they've experienced, what has events done for them, but also as an event coordinator, sharing my knowledge of 10 plus years of live event coordinating. And so I'm super excited the process and the journey of this podcast and where it's going to be. And I can't thank you enough for being the first guest on this podcast. And it's always amazing to get together with you. And I know we talked about we're going to be working on some projects together in the future, now that you stepped into this role, which is super exciting. And as an event coordinator, I do events all over the country. So I'm excited that your team and your company is able to go all over the country and create these experiences for entrepreneurs. So how can people connect with you and learn more about your work?
Well, our website's pretty easy. It's oppro.biz. I'm on LinkedIn, Jerelle, Jerelle, Gordon, Gordon. And my email is pretty simple, too. It's Jerelle, Jerelle@oppro.biz.
Perfect. And I'll go ahead and link those as well, just in
Thank
case. But I just want to thank you so much for being here.
Victor.
And I'll definitely ask you to return in the future events are always changing. So trends are always changing. And so it'll be great to have you again to kind of give us an update on where OP Pro Productions are, productions are at, and new services or new products that you have. And again, thank you again.
Thank you, Victor. Appreciate it.